I think schools over time in the university have definitely started to really start teaching courses of what's really different in a business environment. How do our core financial decisions or core financial tools change or need to be amended when we're looking at, say, an investment in an emerging market country as opposed to in Arkansas. And so I think the universities in Washington, Olin Business School certainly has taken on, I think having the Shanghai program enhances our ability to do that well. But we've got a very international faculty that brings their own experiences, whether they're consulting work or research, that I think really, it makes us an international player, even though geographically we're obviously fairly landlocked. That's sort of the way that I try to choose to teach the things that I do, is to give a perspective on here's the big picture of what a decision maker, like the senior vice president in charge of product innovations at a company, if they're the ones that are sort of cast with the financial responsibility of which projects do we take on, which ones do we hold off for a while, which ones do we completely abandon, to give students, whether they're undergrads or MBAs, some perspective of what is that person trying to achieve. What are their objectives? What are some of the constraints that are placed on them? And so you have to have some, semblance of the reality that's out there if you're going to effectively teach the students. So the merit to that would be you can't be completely isolated from the business world. Do you have to have worked for 10 years as that VP to do it? Absolutely not. It's the research that drives everything we teach. And so the research ideas have to come from somewhere, and a lot of them will spill over from, hey, we saw this problem come up when we talked to executives over and over again. We actually then went and wrote a paper about trying to understand what that problem was, what other potential, in this case it was what other potential costs may come about because of this particular problem. And then you can then sort of teach that as here's something to avoid going forward. So it's sort of, I think it's a virtuous cycle if you do it well.